Hello and welcome to another video. I'm Annette from Carpe Omnia After 60, and this week is a little bit calmer. We had Jasmine's 10th birthday party with some friends over, and they had their little dance. One stayed overnight, and I ran her home, and then blessed peace again. It is so nice to have quiet time after all that. And Owen also took care of one last pile of brush that he lit up and burnt, and I'm just going to run over there and take a look to see how it's doing. Because it burnt pretty quick. It was quite dry, and just making sure everything's fine there. And he wants to run his skid steer into the shop because the weather, although it's quite nice now, it's supposed to take a polar dip in a few days. So we got to get that out of the yard and into the shop so it doesn't freeze up. And what I was thinking about, I was watching some videos about dating when you're more my age, right? Anybody that goes through a marriage breakdown after 50 and then tries to eventually try to date again, it's a whole different kettle of fish. And one of the types that they came up with was the hobo-sexual. The hobo-sexual, and I thought that was a kind of a funny name. And the more I thought about it, the more not so funny it became, because one of my ex-husbands was exactly that. As far as trying to avoid the hobosexual, this can belong to any age out there. You can meet them when you start dating, anytime in the middle and old age. It doesn't matter what age you are. These are and it's not even men. The reason I'm talking about men is because I'm a woman. But these hobosexuals are both genders. They're the ones that can't take care of themselves. They don't want to keep a job. They have bills and debts. They don't have a home of their own, or even an apartment, or they could be between places. And suddenly you become very, very attractive because you have a home. And they want somewhere to live. And so you are their dream person. They adore you. They sweep you off your feet. And that's what happened to me with third husband. I'm going to call him Will, to be brief. And yeah, and a lot had to do with my lack of self-esteem, or lack of expectations for the guys in my life. This one, when I met him, he was very, very attractive. Quite pretty to look at. He was a musician. He played guitar, he played bass. And yeah, he was charming and witty, and we started dating, and then he dumped me and picked back up again, and then he dumped me, and then along in there, I did something I was so proud of myself. I bought my first home under my own steam, under my own name, with my own money. No husband involved, no guy involved. It was solely purchased with my wages, and I was so very, very proud. And before I could even move a stick of furniture in, I'm not even sure how he found out about it, there he was on my doorstep holding flowers, and this time he meant. Owen and I often talk about certain forks in the road where a decision should have been made and we took the wrong decision. And this was my huge fork in the road. It was taking this man back into my life when I should have just burnt it all down and told him to flake off. And yeah, it took a lot to shake him out of my life, and it was a very, very pricey thing. Several $100,000 in the end of the day. Very, very expensive endeavor. There's my Zuko. This time he meant it. He really, really liked me, and he really wanted to date, and on it went. And then he put on the love bombing stuff. At that point, he was working in the oil field. So as far as I was concerned, he made just as good of money as me as an RN. And yeah, he was very kind, very smart, very hardworking, all the things. Then he moved in and then got engaged and then married, and then he wanted to come in off the road. He didn't want to be an oil field person anymore. So he quit his job. He wanted to, he was in a band. He created a band, and they were very good, and classic rock. And let's see, he wanted to kind of get a sound company going, but he had no money, so I funded that as well. So $100,000 worth of sound gear later on credit cards mostly. And yeah, got him going with that. And he said that he would keep finding jobs and such because he had a son, so he owed child support, and he was a smoker, and he smoked like a pack a day. And I wasn't expecting him to pay a whole lot, but I did expect him to take care of his wants and obligations, right? Well, he couldn't keep a job. So between one job and the next job, he would quit. He would be sleeping until 4 in the afternoon. I'd get up after my night shift. I'd come home off my night shift, sleep, get up at 4, and he'd still be sleeping. And yeah, in the end of the day, he didn't have anything. He didn't pay his child support. He had his license taken away. I covered 6 months of child support for him just to get his license back. And it was just an empty draining of all your accounts. And yeah, he was the hobo-sexual that I ended up getting involved with and marrying. And the reason it ended was not because he was going to go to rehab for his drug addiction that he began after we were married. He was mad that I kept asking why the accounts are being drained, why our business account was empty now. And he just didn't want to handle the fighting. And so he left me, and I agreed and was absolutely thrilled that he left me. And now he is in an apartment somewhere in a town, not working, not sure what he's living off of. It's just kind of a sad situation. He is younger than I am. And I was also thinking, when you start dating and you're trying to find somebody, and I don't know how it is in other countries, but I checked into this with my lawyer after the fact. If you are married with somebody who's younger than you, if you should get into a car accident and you both expire, they have decided that the youngest person of the pair would have been the one to die last. And that means something if you don't do your wills and you have children. That means that everything of yours goes to your spouse, and then everything of his goes to his kin, his child. So that would have meant if he and I would have gotten into a bad car accident, all my stuff and accounts and pension and whatnot would have gone directly to him and then to his son, and my children would have got nothing if I would not have done a will. So that is why it's so important in any situation to do your wills, but especially as you get older. I've seen 60-year-olds online here saying they've never done one, and then you're risking it because you just don't know where your belongings go to if you care where it goes to. And as I was thinking about this, there's a biblical verse, and I'm not even sure where it is, about being unequally yoked. Now, at that point, I think they meant religiously, meaning one person's in this religion, one person in this religion, as being unequally yoked, or an unbeliever with a believer, that kind of a thing. But it also could mean being unequally yoked with your spouse, as in how you think about things, what your values are, how your work ethic is, all of it. And Zuko is agreeing, you can tell. And yeah, being unequally yoked could give you a whole lot of trouble. And just a heads up for that. As I was thinking about all this, I thought, oh no, it's not that I married a hobosexual. One of my children happens to be one, and that's sad to me. He is almost 40, has 2 children out there, different baby mamas, keeps quitting his job, goes from woman to woman to woman, home to home to home. And when he's not there, he's couch surfing. When he tries to come to our place and stay in our basement for a while. So he tries to do that kind of behavior here. And he almost doesn't get a job until it's forced. He's forced to, until he has enough money in his account where he can go, well, I'm not happy, so I'm gonna quit and whatever. So then no child support gets paid. They have taken his license away. And yeah, my son is a hobosexual, and that's a sad thing. Sad to see, not taking care of responsibilities, and I don't even know where things are going to go in the future with his children and how they're going to treat him or how he's going to treat them, if there's even going to be a relationship down the road. You just never know. And his relationship with his kids, of course, trickles down to their relationship with me. Because, well, I'm attached to this person who has created this mess for them, even though they participated in it. He is now not favored in their eyes, that's for sure. So I just thought I would share this cautionary tale in dating. Now, you can find these guys when they're young. You can find these guys when they're old. In fact, when they're old, they're often looking for that nurse with a purse, or even both. If they're not looking after their health, they want somebody to look after them for them, to basically be their mother. And that's not really a great thing to be. It's better to be alone than to be that. That's as far as I'm concerned. So this is Annette from Carpe Omnia After 60. I'll see you in a few days. Take care.